RDU 98.5, and welcome back to another Audio Antiquing. On today's show, I've got Nick Bollinger, and we're talking about the incredible articles that he has written, part one and part two of The Influencers, Inspirational Visitors. Now, a little bit of a blurb before we get into the interview. No culture is an island, not even a culture situated in a group of actual islands 1,600 kilometers away from its nearest neighbor. It is human nature to interact, cooperate, and mimic, and no more so than in music. Ever since the first gramophones, New Zealanders have been able to hear music from other times and places, enabling local musicians to learn to play in popular and exotic styles that quickly spread throughout society. Radio, television, and later the internet sped up the process even further. But touring acts have remained a special source of inspiration. Ask a musician, and they will tell you that there is nothing quite like seeing another musician up close, observing their technique, their body language, their habits, and how they move through the world. There are things that can be learned from physical proximity, almost by osmosis, that one could never acquire, however much one studies the scores or recordings. Hey Nick, how you going this morning?
Yeah, good, good.
So another fabulous article. I always love whatever you write, but give us just like it's pretty straightforward what you've written at the start of the bio, but could you just give us in your own words your inspiration and the reason why you've written this part one and part two?
I guess it started with people constantly referring to great gigs they've been to over the years and how important they thought those shows were to this country, and it was always touring acts. So people would, Lou Reed in the early 70s or, um, The Who in the 60s, changed the changed my life sort of thing. And I started thinking, well, what was it that was so enduring about those visits? And particularly, how did they actually affect New Zealand music?
Mm.
And I, as I said in that introduction that you read, um, records are one thing. You can get some experience from that, but what is different about actually seeing a musician up close and seeing what they do, how they behave, uh, how they interact with the audience and their instruments, and what effect does that have on musicians here? How did it change the way we approached making music after that? But I thought I'd go back to the very beginnings, even before there were records. I
Yeah.
actually went right back to the 19th century, and I, a long time ago, I stumbled on a photograph in the Alexander Turnbull Library of an African American playing a banjo, and he's sitting on the back doorstep of someone's house in Napier. And I thought, what's the story behind this? And I dug around, and a few other people had looked into it as well. It turned out he was a part of a touring minstrel show uh,
Wow.
from the American South. His name was Hosea Easton, and
Wow.
the photograph was taken by a local from Napier, guy called, surname was Williams, and his collection of photographs are in the Turnbull Library, and he mostly
Wow.
photographed trains, gardens, and people playing banjos. His
What
wife,
is what a special interest.
isn't it? He and his wife were banjo players themselves,
Oh
and there's lots of
wow.
photographs of them with their friends playing banjos. But they obviously latched onto this guy from the deep south who came, an authentic American banjo player. And this is before there was any other way of learning banjo. Um, and, and and you actually find it explained to me the fact that there are a lot of secondhand banjos and fourth-hand banjos from that era, really old instruments. Still,
Yeah,
you can see them in secondhand shops, and they're around. So I think that's the roots of that. Anyway, we'll never
100%.
hear what the Williams family sounded like on their banjos because that's before all this. But anyway, that story is where it all starts. I then go on through, the jazz bands that came out here.
Yeah.
Be sure one of the most famous swing bands in the world came here during the Second World War to entertain the American troops that were
Wow.
stationed in New Zealand. And there are accounts by New Zealand musicians who went and heard them, who just couldn't believe how loud they were for a start. So it was like they'd heard this stuff on records, but they didn't realize, oh, these people really project, and they actually could hear what Americans had been hearing for decades.
Wow.
So that sort of thing had a real influence. Once you hear it, you go, I know how that's done now.
Yeah.
And it carried on, we had, I wondered what the first rock and roll concert in New Zealand was. And we had local people playing rock and roll who'd learnt it off records. But really the first touring act that was described as a rock and roll concert was Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash?
Johnny Cash in 1959.
Wow.
That was very early for him. He'd possibly just finished being on the Sun label, but basically he'd come out of the same, Memphis, Tennessee. He'd come out of the same place as Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
He'd been on the same little regional record label.
Wow.
They'd toured together a lot in the States, and Johnny came here straight from all of that. So he was rocking. The descriptions in the newspaper went, this brought the house down, and he even did Elvis songs as well.
Oh, and everyone would have loved that. They would have been like, we've got Elvis over here.
Yeah. And of course, after that, you had the first real wave of New Zealand rock and roll.
Of course.
But another one that everyone talks about when you're getting right up into the 60s is this group, the Pretty Things.
Yes.
Who were kind of, they were related to, they came out of London. They're actually, the guitarist called Dick Taylor, who had originally been in the Rolling Stones really early on, before they even made records.
Wow.
But the Pretty Things were even more kind of raw and sort of antisocial than the Rolling Stones. And they did this tour through New Zealand where they had a drummer called Viv Prince who would sort of, he was really great at attracting the headlines. He drink whiskey on stage, and he'd set fire to the curtains in one of the provincial theatres. Oh. He would just do anything to kind of,
to get the attention. Yeah.
And after that, there was a real wave of New Zealand sort of rhythm and blues bands with a real edge that you hadn't heard before. And one that really still stands up to this day, I think, is the La-Di-Dahs out of Auckland, who actually sounded quite a lot like the Pretty Things. And their record, How's the Air Up There, it's a classic of that genre from anywhere in the world. But this came out of Auckland in 1966.
Oh, should we give it a cheeky listen then, Nick?
I'd love to hear it.
Awesome.
Trio
Oh, Nick, thank you so much. Such a great song. I just wanted to ask though, who were some of the bigger artists, coming in from the 70s and the 80s?
Right. Well, in the 70s, we had the first stadium shows in New Zealand. So, particularly Western Springs Stadium in Auckland, you had these people like, well, Bowie did it, the Rolling Stones did it, Elton John, Fleetwood Mac, But I wondered if how much influence those huge acts actually had on New Zealand bands, because New Zealand bands were still just playing in pubs and halls.
Mm.
And really, you can go and admire, a great big spectacular show that like something that Bowie puts on with all the sound and lights. But really, how are you going to replicate that as a little local band?
Yeah.
Um, there was a guy who came down here, I think ostensibly on his honeymoon, although I think by the time he got to New Zealand, his wife had already left him. But his name was Kim Fowley, and he was a record producer from Los Angeles. And he among other things, he'd sort of manufactured a band called the Runaways, which was an all-women band, really young, I think they were teenagers. And that was the group that produced Joan Jett.
Yep.
The Runaways. But they were very much Kim Fowley's creation as as an entity. He had this vision of an all-girl band, and I think they rebelled against him pretty swiftly too.
Yep.
He was a dubious character, but he ended up in New Zealand, and as he would do wherever in the world he went, he was sort of hunting out talent. There was a band in Auckland called Street Talk. He went and heard them and ended up writing songs with them for their first album.
Wow.
The night he heard them, in fact. And he also came to the attention of this group, the Crocodiles, who were just kind of forming in Wellington, but they'd all been in a lot of bands before. And this was the group that produced the singer Jenny Morris. Anyway, they got together with Kim Fowley, and he promised to make them stars.
As you do.
As you do. I think they were kind of swept off their feet a bit by this fast-talking American. Anyway, he had a lot to do with their first album. I think he didn't actually produce it in the end. I think he disappeared off back to the States by that stage. But he certainly worked with them in the early stages and helped them shape the songs. And he really did turn them from a sort of an art rock kind of group into a real pop band. And that record has endured, that Crocodiles album. In fact, it's recently been reissued.
Wow.
With a whole lot of extra tracks.
Awesome.
So that's worth seeking out, the Tears album. But there's one I reckon we should hear because it doesn't get played nearly often enough. This is an early Jenny Morris vocal.
Ooh.
Any day of the week. It's a great New Zealand pop record, which probably wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for this weird Kim Fowley character.
Isn't it just so random, as a quick side note, isn't it just so random that there's always these very interesting characters that then introduce us to great things?
Popular music is full of random encounters,
Full of it.
Most of it wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for a couple of people just happening to be in the same place at the same time.
Exactly. Oh, but shall we listen to this Crocodiles track then?
Let's hear it.
Let's do it. any day of the week. The Crocodiles, absolute banger. Nick's always got the best recommendations. But, that we've covered quite a lot of what we've talked about in part 1. But in part 2 of your article, we are diving into reggae, punk, post-punk, hip-hop. What is going on in these genres, Nick?
Well, we're moving into the 80s. And I was interested in, the fact that more media was kind of available to people. We were starting to see some of these acts on television, but it was still some of the actual visitations that had this huge influence. A big one with reggae, of course, was Bob Marley coming here in 1979.
Huge.
And it was. I mean, there were already a few people playing their version of reggae here, which they'd learnt from records. But I think seeing Bob Marley was such a catalyst. He played at Western Springs.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of people there. I was there.
Yeah, you were, Nick.
And so it was, it was a amazing sort of bringing together of different tribes too. There were all kinds of people there.
Definitely.
There were punks and gang members, and one of the big things that came out of that, because hot on the heels really of Bob Marley's visit, was the Auckland band Herbs. And I think they could see that was a vehicle for their messages and saying things about New Zealand and the Pacific, using this approach of Bob Marley's, which was to think in terms of big messages and reggae music.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear something early in Herb's career. I've always loved the song Dragons and Demons off their first EP, What's Be Happen. And I don't think that gets played often enough. So let's hear some early New Zealand reggae.
Let's do it, Nick. Dragons and Demons by Herb. Another underrated banger. Nick, you do it every time. You always pick the underrated bangers. It's awesome. But thank you so much for writing another incredible article. If you didn't get it at the start, this article is called The Influencers, Inspirational Visitors Part 1 and Part 2 on AudioCulture. But Nick, is there anything else that you would like to just finally share with the RDU family?
Well, I'd love people to go and read the article because, I mean, we've touched on the surface of it, and I think maybe giving people an idea of what it's all about. But there's lots of good stories in there that, we haven't got time to go over now, so people can go and enjoy them themselves. But lots of, I tried to talk to people and find accounts of real interactions with overseas musicians that
Yeah.
affected them in some way. And I think there's some good ones there.